So my geeks and peeps, it's Lollipop, also known as Lauren here, and we have Graeme!
Hello again.
You might recognise him from my Wales Comic Con vlog, and he's adorable as always.
Thank you.
So we thought for Valentine's Day, since, it's the month of love, who better to do this list than the man I love?
And the woman I love too.
Aw, you're so cute.
Speaking of cute, we've decided to do the top 10 cute anime couples.
Well, our favourite couples in anime. It might not just be any couple in anime, it's literally just our favourites.
Some of them are slightly more confirmed than others, but I think you'll still agree with the couples nevertheless.
Yes, they are couples.
Okay.
Two people is a couple, right?
You know what I mean.
I'm keeping that in, by the way.
So then, let's start the countdown.
Number 10, Serena and Darian, or Usagi and Mamoru from Sailor Moon.
When it comes to the anime, they're pretty much the forefront of the couples in it, because even though some of them had to get edited out for the American dub, thankfully this one's got the same.
Sailor Uranus!
Yeah. So this couple's pretty iconic for the 90s.
I grew up as a 90s child, so I watched Sailor Moon before I even knew it was anime. And one of the main reasons I watched it, besides the whole magical girl thing, was the relationship between Serena and Darian. And I'm going to call them that because I watched the English dub. And I remember to this day their first kiss, even though Usagi, it's like Chibusa descended from the ceiling and kissed her own father.
Anime.
I remember the first time they transformed in front of each other, the whole evil Darian arc when Serena tried to save him. And I still cry to this day when I watch their breakup scene from season 2, I believe. Editor Lauren, make sure you check that out.
There's a few reasons why I'd only reached number 10 now, which I'm sure Lauren knows a bit more about since she's the Sailor Moon fan.
Yes. Reason we've put it at number 10 is because, yes, the relationship did progress quite naturally throughout the particularly the first season. One of my major gripes with it is it's a typical 90s romance. Now, I've not watched Sailor Moon Crystal, so I don't know if they fixed this, but they start out like any typical 90s movie. They hate each other. They're constantly bickering. They're constantly insulting each other. And then suddenly, they're in love.
Which tends to happen quite a lot during that decade.
Mm-hmm. Which was always, and especially looking back at it now, when anime has come so far, was a major gripe of mine. And yes, they are a pretty iconic couple, but that's why they'll always hold a special place in my heart. They'll always have that impact, but not as much of an impact as other entries on this list. Number 9
is Gargiel and Levy from Fairy Tail.
Now, Graham's going to talk about this one because I have not seen Fairy Tail. Please don't attack me, internet. I was a Naruto girl.
Basically, the first ever interaction Gargiel and Levy had was when he attacked her and the guild, leaving her nailed to a tree. Over time, his character did soften and he eventually became a member of the guild and they kind of worked through their differences. Now, again, forgive me, but I haven't really read the manga, especially towards the end, but I think it's pretty heavily implied that not only are they a couple, but they've got a little potential dragon slayer on the way.
Again, editor Lauren, check this.
Reason I made it onto the list, because I think it's just a nice little character change, especially when you see Gargiel the first time, who doesn't really care about anyone, to becoming so enamoured with someone, especially from a guild who he once wanted to destroy. And it's also nice to see Levy kind of embracing someone who used to be an enemy, which is kind of anime and fairy tale in a nutshell. The whole forgiving an enemy to make them friends. Again, the reason they're not higher on this list is because I don't know if it's 100% confirmed they are together, and as much as I like them as a couple, the others on the list just edged them out a little bit. So, Gargiel and Levy made it to number 9.
Number 8 on this list
would be from Steins Gate. We've picked Okabe and
Karisu Makase. Again, was sorry if we butchered the pronunciation.
Yeah, I'm especially bad at it. Bit of an odd choice for this couple. Bit of an odd anime in general.
Very odd anime. In fact, I Haven't finished it.
I happened to binge watch it and it kind of destroyed me. um,
Poor Joe Michael Tatum.
I'll try to avoid any spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, but the reason they made it onto this list is because for someone who's so obsessed with science and the pursuit of what isn't there, Okabe instantly sort of falls in love with Makase. And, she kind of tries to avoid it and be lofty, but as the story progresses and slowly but surely he starts to deteriorate mentally about what he has to do, she's there for him and she's a constant. Again, something which through the anime, especially through the new season, Steins Gate Zero, is something which becomes a bigger issue. The main reason they made it onto this list is a certain scene where he keeps talking about going back in time, and she says maybe a first kiss would help them remember each other. And again, pretty big spoiler, so sorry everyone, skip forward a couple of sentences if you don't want to know. When he fixes the timeline and she doesn't remember the conversation and things, she still remembers the kiss. So even across time and space, the love was still kind of always there. But again, unfortunately, better couples kind of just pushed in on this, as you'll see, as we move on to number
7,
which is next.
Number 7 on this list, Tamaki Suo and Haruhi Fujioka
From Oran High School Host Club.
Now, this is an anime we've both watched.
And both love.
I fell in love with this anime straight away, and one of the main reasons was because of Haruhi. She is such a strong female character who is very unlike most harem anime characters. She actually puts up a fight, she tries to tries to be so independent, but throughout the course of the anime, she learns to start accepting others into her own life and start accepting others' help. One of the main characters she does lean on for help is, of course, Tamaki Senpai.
Who, again, like Haruhi during the anime, changes a great deal. He goes... I guess it's kind of a show. He's cocky, confident nature, because deep down he's a bit of a broken character.
Craves a family because he doesn't have one of his own.
And he sees what Haruhi has at her home and how, again, she's missing someone from her family but powers on. And he kind of finds out that maybe instead of having all these girls, it'd be better to just have the attention of one.
They seem to draw strength from each other. They seem to take the best part of each other and combine it. He takes from her this strength that she has, and she takes from him his compassion
and his confidence
and lovingness, and she applies that into everything. Now, again, spoilers for the manga. I have read the last one. That scene in the airport after he leaves with his, he lets his mother go, and she confesses her love. That scene is just perfect between them because Tamaki's just like, wait, what? I didn't hear you, and she gets very angry at him because she's like, oh, you don't listen to me, and why did you make me repeat it if you heard me? And it's such a sweet moment. But it's so typical for that anime that it's laced with comedy, and I absolutely loved it.
It's a sweet little send-off, and it's a bit ambiguous with the ending.
The creator herself has said at the end of the manga that she believes Tamaki and Haruhi did end up getting married.
So the creator, in a way, gave the characters their own path to happiness, which she and probably most of the fans believe they took, and they ended up happily married.
Mm-hmm. And even if we go just by the anime, why did I pronounce it like that? Anime. Okay. Even if we go just by the anime, that ending scene with Haruhi trying her best to save Tamaki from making a big mistake and disbanding the host club, she does it out of kind of wanting to keep the host club together, but she also does it because I think she doesn't want to see Tamaki with this other woman, even though it means he might see his mother again. And she does everything she can, including that big horse chase at the end, to try and save him, and it ends up with, both of them
saving her.
Yeah, both of them falling into the river together. It's beautifully shot.
Yeah, from a beautifully shot anime.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our number 7 choice.
And we're moving on to number 6. Number 6, Chi and Hideki from Chobits.
Which is a bit of a cult anime at the moment, I guess. It's not very well known, but those who know it absolutely love it, and it's not hard to see why.
In case you don't know, the story of Chobits is Hideki is a character voiced by Crispin Freeman in The Door, which we love, who goes from working in a farm to going to the big city to go to school. And in that, he learns the story of persocoms, which are little compact computers, walking AI essentially, that range from little tiny things like Momoru, as she's called, but in the English it's called Peach, and Kotaro, to full-size persocoms,
Which
leads him to Chi.
Which has to be one of the most adorable anime characters of all time. You should really check her out.
Now, Hideki comes across Chi lying in the garbage. She's literally being disposed of. And he takes her back to his place, thinking she's a real person. He actually tries to save her, don't worry. Then finds out she's a persocom. And Chi, throughout the entire anime, is trying to find the one for me and only me.
Which is still told for a beautiful storybook, which, no spoilers, it's pretty big for the story about where it came from and who it was mainly written for, but I'm guessing you can tell that it was for Chi.
And Chi's memory has been completely erased. She does not remember who she is. She does not remember anything about where she's came from. In fact, Hideki picks her name and she loves it. And Hideki becomes her entire world. And as the story progresses, Chi starts to gain more memories, and Hideki starts trying to look into the mysterious past of Chi and of Chobits in general. And there are quite a few twists and turns in this quite simple anime. Like, the anime itself, up till about the last 4 episodes, I would say.
It's quite slice of life based.
And it's very, it's very random. They go from one episode where they're fighting in a video game to the next where they're ghost hunting in the apartment complex they live in. It's very random episodes, but there is a linear story connecting each one.
Usually through the storybook.
Through the story. Up until the very last couple of episodes where the story kicks into high gear.
One of the reasons we picked this couple, and you find out at the very beginning that Hideki's moral character is not the best. He wants to get an internet connection for stuff I'm sure you can probably guess, but...
Porn!
Yes, but not once through the entire series does he see Chi as anything but, to be honest, a living, breathing person. He wants to protect her, he wants to teach her. All the times he could have done shady things to her, he didn't.
And even when he finds out she is a persocom, even when he finds out she might be more than that, other characters in this anime want to take advantage of that and want to... Basically, they refer to her as Thing, and they refer to her as a persocom. That's all they call her. Hideki loses his temper at them and says, she is not a persocom, she is she is Chi, refer to her as Chi. He does not see her as this AI, he sees her as this person. And then in the last couple of scenes, in the last couple of episodes, I apologise, when she finally confesses her love to him and him to her, it's so beautiful.
It's such a fantastic payoff as well. Because each scene, you can see him catching glimpses of her, and again, it's not for any malice reasons, or it's just honest affection and love.
And what they're both willing to do for each other at the end of that anime. Chi is willing to sacrifice everything so that Hideki can be happy. But Hideki, in turn, is willing to sacrifice everything so that he can save and keep Chi. And it's so romantic and it's so sweet just how far they're willing to go for each other,
And how pure it is.
Even though one is a persocom and the other is a human.
But hopefully you'll watch it and figure out what we mean by some of the stuff. And that was our number 6.
6 or 7. Oh, fun.
It was number 6. Right, on to number 5 now.
Number 5, Kosei Anima and Kari Miyazono from Your Lie in April. I'm going to try not to cry when I do this one.
This is a very heartbreaking anime, which I haven't seen, unfortunately, but Lauren's filled me in on all of it.
This anime is so beautiful, from its animation to the scores to the relationship between not just Kari and Kosei, but between all the characters in this. I'd say the 4 main characters essentially, and the relationship between Kosei and his mother, and everything is stunning. This is one of the most beautifully done animes I have seen in such a long time.
The creators also decided to add something a little heartbreaking into it for when you watch it the second time. I'm not going to give anything away, but I'm guessing if you've heard about the anime, you know the ending. But keep an eye on one of the main characters, because it gives you a hint to how the health is by something. But you'll figure that out soon.
The story behind this anime is Kosei is a musical prodigy. He, from a very young age, was taught to play these scores, and he was taught to play piano, and he was incredible. And then when a traumatic incident happens, which I'm not going to spoil, he basically loses his ability to hear the notes that he's playing, meaning he doesn't really like playing music much. Until one day he meets Kaori, and it's so gorgeously done that the moment he sees her, his world goes from like this monotone to bursting with colour and with life and with vibrancy, just because he meets her. And she, throughout the course of the anime, convinces him to take up music again because she wants to play with him, because she plays the violin. And you find out later, major spoilers, I apologise, you find out later that Kaori, from a young age, admired Kosei. She was the reason she got into music, and her one dream was just to play music with Kosei. But when she found out she was sick, then she decided to take life into her own hands. She wanted to become this wild child, and she wanted to play music the way she wanted to play it, not the way her teachers told her. And she kept this dream that she wanted just to play with this person that she was in love with. And the ending is so heartbreaking, and the final duet between the two of them, it is so stunning and so beautifully done, but it is absolutely heartbreaking when you see what's going on and you realise the truth behind it and the levity behind it. And then Kaori's final message to Kosei, when you find out she's been in love with him this entire time, and her one wish for him is to be happy and to keep on living. It's so stunning. But the reason we've put it at number 5 is because this couple, unfortunately, although they both loved each other, they never actually got together in the anime, and because obviously, unfortunately, they never will.
Yeah, that's kind of taken away.
Whereas further couples on this list are actually confirmed couples who do have a actual relationship.
And no offense to the other couples on the list, after the top 5, it kind of gets into the extreme category of best couples in anime, not just the cutest as well.
Right, so we move on to number 4. Number 4 on this list
happens to be from one of the best animes of all time. It's Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. So no surprise here when we talk about Ed and Winry.
Oh, I thought we were talking about his brother and his wife. Of course, we're talking about Ed and Winry. Come on.
Not too sure that one's confirmed anyway.
It is. Come on.
We're going by the Brotherhood one because, again, the only real fault with the original Fullmetal was they didn't know how to end it because the manga hadn't ended. But Brotherhood, they kind of got it spot on. When it all comes down to the whole purpose of anime is you can't get something for nothing. It's got to be about equal exchange. So Ed, being the adorable idiot that he is, decides to make Winry a deal. he offers half of his life for half of hers, to which she calmly, not so
Calmly.
not so calmly replies,
You idiot! Why would I want half of your life? I could have the whole of your life.
So yeah, in that moment, he finds out that this girl who'd been hanging around him as kids, who'd been keeping him going when he lost his arm and his leg, loved him as much as he loved her. Fortunately, he never really saw the love or kind of felt the love towards her because he was always on this quest to get, his brother's body back. Which, as far as it goes, is not a bad reason when you consider some of the other anime characters, especially on this list, who didn't get together with people soon enough.
For reasons.
Yes.
Looking at you, number 3.
Yeah, so it's impossible to deny how cute this couple are, how well they work together. They had to wait a while, which was kind of good because something was always happening and something was always coming up. But since, big spoiler, he lost his ability to perform alchemy, there's nothing really better than Edward could kind of want to do than hang out with someone who's meant for well to him for as long as he can remember.
I mean, going from childhood romance to his adorable proposal, and it is adorable.
You should really check it out because it's fantastic.
You can't really say much better about that kind of couple who have always loved each other from a very young age. It just proves they were meant to be together.
Yeah. So, that's why they made it to number 4. But I think you'll agree when we hit 3, 2 and 1 why that didn't get any higher on this list. And speaking of number 3...
Number 3 on this list, Issei Hyodo
and Riaz Grumry
from High School DxD. One of our favourite animes ever. In fact, we've cosplayed as this couple quite a few times.
We even won a Valentine's Day costume contest dressed as them, which
was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
What I meant when I said in number 4, I'm looking at you number 3, was because, as Graeme said, Ed and Winry got together after a very long time because of extenuating circumstances. Issei is a bit of an idiot.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that pretty much any other female in this anime is after him, making him the true Honourable king without even trying, which is his goal.
Now, major spoilers for season 4. Hero, isn't it?
Yes.
Hero, yes. Major spoilers for season 4. The whole summary of... the whole summary of the anime in general. Issei Hyodo is a normal guy who basically just wants to get laid. That's what he wants. He wants a girlfriend.
Yeah, and him and his friends are like the lowest of the low in the school, unfortunately, so it's not going to happen. But then this girl suddenly appears literally out of nowhere, interested in Issei, so he thinks, why the hell not? I'll go out on a date. What's the worst what can happen?
Well, it turns out that girl is a fallen angel who has seen an ability in Issei that was given to him by him, and she kills him. Stabs him right through the chest. Stomach. I apologise. She stabs him in the stomach.
And strangely enough, this is kind of where Issei's first ever confession comes from. As he's lying in a pool of his own blood, he remembers the most beautiful girl he's ever seen in his life, Riaz Grumry.
She goes to his school and he just he pictures that the blood that is coming out of his body is the same colour as her hair, and thinking about her that much actually ends up summoning Riaz to his side, because what we don't know is...
Riaz is not just the head of the Occult Research Club, she is also a demon, a high-ranking demon from a devil, from a high-ranking devil family. Now, she didn't recognise Issei, I'm guessing, but she saw inside him something great and decided to make him a member of her family.
Not just a member. Each head of the family is allowed evil pieces, as they're called, which is essentially chess pieces. You're allowed your queen, your rooks, your bishops, everything else. Now, as in chess, you are allowed 8 pawns, but you are allowed to combine said pawns into one person if they need.
So basically, she tells Riaz, "You are now my pawn," to which he doesn't seem too happy about, because he seems to think, well, I'm going to be one of it. To which she reveals, no, I put all I had into you, so do your best to make me proud. As the anime slowly progresses, even though we get closer together, his perviness never seems to die down. In fact, it leads to him winning quite a few fights, especially in season 4.
Yeah, that scene where he's fighting. I don't know her name. I will need to find it.
It's
But she is
a
trying.
bishop.
She's a bishop, yes, and she basically is trying to assault Issei's pervertedness.
We'll let you find that out yourself because she's not on this list. Now, we could kind of pick any girl from Harem to be on the list because there's certainly people who ship each one. But for us,
It's always Riaz and Issei.
yeah, from season 1 when he saves her from a marriage what she doesn't want, all the way through season 3 when they actually kiss, but it's not really remembered, to season 4.
Season 4 is utterly heartbreaking. Each season gets progressively more heartbreaking. We went from crying maybe once in season 1 to crying a couple of times in season 2 to every other episode in season 3 to basically every episode in season 4.
But at the end of season 4, we were kind of left crying with happiness as
Spoiler warning!
Riaz confesses her love to Issei and he finally stops being such an idiot and they make it official.
And trust me, it takes a while. The crux of season 4 is Riaz realizes she's in love with Issei and she needs to find out how he feels about her. And several times throughout the season, he does sort of confess that he likes her, but because of everything that's happened, he basically thinks he's not good enough for her, and
being a low-level devil.
a low-level devil.
And her being the head of the family.
And he basically... he calls her president instead of her name, and she gets very angry about that. And there's a scene, and this is basically just Issei's stupidity / he doesn't think he's good enough for her. When Riaz says to him, "Just tell me, what do you think of me?" He says, "Well, you're the president." And everyone else in the club understands where Riaz is coming from. And it takes them a while before they understand where Issei is coming from. And at the end of the season, when he finally gets it together and stops being stupid,
it gives us the moment we've been waiting for about 5 years since we discovered the anime, and it was worth the wait. So, for that reason, and many, many more, Riaz and Issei made it to number 3.
But number 2 on this list
is something a whole different level.
Number 2 on this list?
Now, this anime is kind of not known very well for its couples, but at the same time, the couples are just everywhere. That's exactly what I'm saying. So, you've got, obviously, the main character, Goku and Chi-Chi. You've got his son, Gohan and Videl. You've even got Krillin in number 18. But, again, as he's used to, Vegeta comes in at number 2 with his spouse, Bulma. Yeah, Goku and Chi-Chi is iconic.
No,
But, again...
I don't like them as a couple, and this is a whole different list we will get into, but I do not like them as a couple.
But, again, Vegeta and Bulma is just something completely different. Like, Vegeta comes down, he's obviously a villain. Even in the season on Namek, he's not really a good guy, but it's kind of changing. And he meets Bulma, and all she ever wanted was a prince, not really knowing what kind of prince she would end up with.
Poor Yamcha.
Yeah, they're kind of thrown together under bad circumstances, and it is probably just one night of wild, angry passion which gives birth to Trunks.
Go watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged for that.
So yeah, kind of a one-night stand thing. They have a kid together, he just hangs around. I guess you could say that's kind of his character and right off that, but the longer they're together, the more it grows. The more it becomes beautiful. In the Majin Buu saga, when Vegeta's given his life, he says that he's sorry to Bulma and to Trunks for leaving them. He mentions Goku as well, because he's kind of let him down, but it went from being someone who's so full of pride, caring about no one but himself, apologising to these two people who he's learned to love. And he even goes further in Dragon Ball Super, When Goku wants to go train, Vegeta says no because Bulma's pregnant.
And of course, in Battle of Gods, that is the right
This
movie.
It is. It's the famous "My Bulma" line. So
Vegeta's doing everything he can to protect the planet, essentially, from this god of destruction, which is a huge leap from when we first see him and he doesn't really care about human life in general, to wanting to protect his family.
giving up his pride, making himself the idiot, doing everything he can.
But
And
then, of course, when Bulma has a little too much to drink,
the god of destruction hits her, and Vegeta throws away all survival instincts. He no longer cares about the planet. He doesn't care about himself. In that one moment, he's worried about his wife, and he's not going to let anyone stand in the way there. For one brief shining moment, that pushed him above Goku. And again, in Dragon Ball Super, he refuses to go train with Whis because Bulma's pregnant. He wants to be there for his wife. He wants to be there for his child. This is a man who would and has given up everything for the family, which he never knew he wanted, but he has. He would and has gone to the ends of the earth for Bulma and his children. So that's why out of Dragon Ball Z, out of all the couples in that show, in GT and Super, all
we
the
don't
other
talk about
ones,
GT.
Vegeta and Bulma are a standout couple just for the fact of she tamed the kind of the beast inside him and made him a better person.
Even in the Broly movie, not giving any spoilers, there is a line said by Goku's mother where it's very unlikely, or it's not common, for a Saiyan man to worry about his children. And that is what Vegeta started as, but not the character he ends up as, thanks to Bulma.
Yeah, she scraped down his rough edges, and he especially at the beginning, he was never really the perfect husband or the father. He used Trunks like a training doll, beating him around to make him stronger, but the love was never far away. He knows what mistakes he made, and he knows what mistakes the Saiyan race makes. He isn't having children to push on the family line or keep the Saiyan name alive. He's having a family for having a family. And that whole character development is why him and Bulma reached number 2. And it's not going to be any surprise when you see number 1. So,
One of my favourite animes in general,
so
but one of our favourite couple in anime. But before that, let's get to our honourable mentions. Inuyasha and Kagome.
and Victor and Yuri are part of the honorable mentions because sadly we haven't really watched these animes.
They are on our to watch list, we just haven't watched them, but we do realise the significance behind the couples. We do realise how iconic both these pairs are.
Especially for the growth and development of the characters as separate entities and together as a whole.
And of course, Victor and Yuri are one of the first gay couples in anime, so their significance cannot be understated.
No matter what anyone says, that was an engagement ring. He ran out to kiss and hug him. It's happening. So
they're getting married! It's so cute!
So that's the first of the honourable mentions.
Next up, we have Spike and Julia from Cowboy Bebop.
One of the best animes of all time, even though it's quite old.
Now, apologies for these two not being on the main list, and the reason behind that is because we have not seen all of Cowboy Bebop, either of us.
I've seen
and
the
please
majority
don't
of it.
kill us for that.
We've tried to watch the majority of it, and yeah.
But we do know the story of Spike and Julia, and the romance between them is so beautiful. And like Carrie and Co say, they don't actually get their happy ending, but it does not undermine how
Important
perfect
it was.
and important they both are. But the reason they're on the honourable mentions rather than the main list is because we have not finished the anime, unfortunately.
We're planning soon.
Please don't kill us, please. Next up, Orohime and Ichigo from Bleach.
Now, Lauren has never watched Bleach.
Again, Naruto girl here.
I've watched about the first 14 seasons, and obviously it was always gonna be the two redheads, Orihime and Ichigo, who end up together, although some of us did kind of lean towards Rukia, except she might be with Renji, I don't know. I've never finished the manga or the anime.
Again, another reason they're on the honourable mentions.
But yeah, some people would kind of say, well, by having them have a kid and stuff, it's very reminiscent of another manga and anime what ended, which we might talk about later on. But yeah, he was always jumping off to protect her, but at the same time, he would do it for everyone, and she was always there to jump in front of a bullet for him. For a great couple and things like that, but again, it was just better, stronger choices for the list. So, doesn't take anything away from what they had.
Next up
Is CL Vandenhive
and Elizabeth Medford from Black Butler. CL!
And that's Lizzie. Now, this young couple are engaged, but unfortunately, a series of extremely unfortunate events befell them, meaning that they couldn't be together, and anyone who watches Black Butler knows that CL does not have a happy ending coming. So it's unlikely, barring some kind of miracle, that they will get the happy ending together.
But with other couples we've got on this list, like Howdy and Kosei, where they won't get their happy ending, Lizzie and CL's relationship is so cute, but it's cute.
No, try to avoid spoilers, but in Book of Atlantic, Lizzie has to show a certain not so gentle side of herself, which she kept hidden because she was afraid CL wouldn't see her as cute.
But she also shows what she has sacrificed for CL and what she has done to keep him happy and make sure he is safe and make sure that he is, everything he wants. But the relationship is so one-sided. Now, that's not to say CL doesn't do stuff for Lizzie, like the party scene in season 1. But
CL knows that he's eternally bound for hell, or whatever happens when Sebastian takes his soul. Meaning he won't want to drag Lizzie down to that, like he doesn't want her involved in the other seedy aspects of his life. He loves her. That's undeniable, but he's a grown-up in this situation, and he knows things aren't going to end the way she wants them to. So, unfortunately, he does play along with it, and does kind of play her along, but that's better than breaking her heart to him. So, that's why it's on the honourable mentions list right now.
Next up, we have Yato and Hiyori from Noragami.
Ooh. What can we really say about this anime? It's a delightful, dark story when you get past the light Shaolin.
Especially Arigato, which is my favourite season.
Same.
But the reason that we put them as an honourable mention is because A, this couple is not confirmed, and B, we couldn't really tell whether Hiyori's actions stem from romance or genuine friendship.
We haven't read the manga, so we don't know if it's ended yet or how it ends. Unless something kind of happens where Hiyori becomes deified and becomes a god, we don't know how this couple would work. With Yato obviously being a god of destruction, become a god of fortune. Calamity as well. So, yeah, they're great together. She somehow knows his real name, which saved him from hell and everything.
And of course the shrine. Her giving him the shrine is one of the sweetest moments I've ever seen.
It's one of the most beautiful scenes in not just that anime but any of recently. You should go check it out.
But again, we don't know whether it's done through friendship or through actual romantic intentions, although it's implied that she does have feelings for him.
And possibly him for her. But again, since it can't be confirmed, I have to go on this list. And next up is Ken Kaneki
and Toga from
Tokyo Ghoul.
Now this one was a bit of a tough choice to put on the honourable mentions list. In fact, it got into a fight between us because Graeme wanted them on the actual list.
Yeah, because from the very start, Toga just saw him as an idiot and things, and with his past experience with girlfriends, you can't really blame him for not wanting to be that open with people.
Very much like Issei and Riaz, when Issei, obviously his first girlfriend, is a fallen angel who kills him.
Ken's is a ghoul who tries to eat him, which leads him into the world of ghouls when he becomes half of one. Now, through Tokyo Ghoul-ri, it's...
Spoilers!
Very big spoilers. It's confirmed not only are they a couple, but they have a child together. Meaning they are one of the couples on this list who end up together, but... Again, there were stronger choices for the main one, and with how they were kind of thrown together, and nothing against Ri, but it felt like it was a bit kind of rushed and put together for it.
Although the relationship between the two of them does kind of progress. I mean, one of Issei's main choices... Issei's?
Kaneki's.
I apologise. I don't know what... I had High School DxD on the brain. One of Kaneki's main reasons for
leaving Antego is
and joining Algiri is to protect Ruki.
This is by the anime.
I'm gonna go to sleep now.
This is by the anime standards. In the manga, it's vastly different, with him creating a third group, again, to protect Toka. But, going by the anime, which, leading into 3, differs a little bit again from the manga, but both,
We will not talk about Hido.
but both end the same way, with them having a child together and hopefully living happily ever after. And now we move on to our last honourable mention.
The final honourable mention goes to
Kushina Uzumaki.
and Minato Namikaze. Now these two almost made it onto the main list,
Yeah.
but there is one couple in Naruto who is stronger than them two.
What else can we really say about this couple? It's even stated that when Kushina was kidnapped, Minato followed the red strands of hair, which of course in Asian culture means
The red threads of destiny.
which people believe tied to two people who are bound to forever be together. They instantly fell in love from that moment. She supported him all the way through him becoming Hokage, and he supported her as she was a Jinchuriki.
And of course, all through her pregnancy, and the love between them two was almost palpable.
It came to the fact of, spoilers, but again it's been out for quite a while, when they basically knew that each other was going to die, they threw their bodies on the line to die together, knowing that neither one could cope in the world. Yeah, they were leaving a child in the world, but the love was so powerful, they knew that they would be protected.
Kushina wanted to die to protect her son and the man she loved, and she believed that the only way to do that would be to sacrifice herself. But Minato knew that Naruto would need not just him, but he'd also need Kushina. So it'd be best if he could give his life as well to seal away the demon, basically.
So it wouldn't rip apart his son. That small act just before he died to protect his child, to protect part of Kushina, that was what truly made them a unique couple in this aspect. Both of them dying to be together, but both giving all they could to protect their son, knowing that they couldn't be there. But, again, they made it on the honourable mention list because
there was one couple who we love in Naruto so much more than Minato and Kushina.
which will lead us into number 1.
And our number 1 cutest couple or top couple in anime is
It just had to be. It's Naruto Uzumaki.
and Hinata Hyuga from Naruto.
I know some of you might roll your eyes calling her a stalker girl and stuff, but
It's so much better than most of the other couples in this list. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. I don't like Sakura, but she deserves so much better than Sasuke. Come on.
and yeah, that started out from the very, very beginning. You can see her absolute devotion towards Naruto. The second she heard that Sasuke likes girls with long hair, she cut it as short as possible as not to be swept up as one of his fangirls.
In the tuning exam, she had a healing ointment that she made sure to give to Naruto after his fight with Kiba. Kiba was her teammate. She was meant to support him, yet she did everything she could to support Naruto.
Now, Naruto, being the absolute blockhead that he is, did not say this, or he was so stupid he just saw it as friendship. Until the Pain Saga, when he was at the total mercy of Pain, and Hinata, knowing she was outclassed, she was going up against a literal god on the
She
battlefield.
knew she was going to die. She tells this to Naruto. She knew that she couldn't beat Pain, but still.
She wanted to give her life to let Naruto escape. She thought if she could hold off Pain just long enough, Naruto could get away. Fortunately, it didn't work. She lost her life in that fight.
No, she didn't.
Kind of. It's
No, she
implied.
didn't. No, she didn't.
But the sight of that happening stirred something inside Naruto. You could say that it was for another member of the village. You could say that it was for a friend. But before he even knew it, seeing the woman who he loved basically being tortured for him broke something inside him and let him activate the demon inside. And then it's kind of all forgotten about for quite the long time, which is a bit of a shame.
And then we get to the Shinobi War, and Oh, alright, I'm not going to spoil the Shinobi War, even though, come on, Naruto's ended in that way.
For quite a while. Even I know, and I haven't seen all the anime.
But Neji's death, and then basically Naruto is falling to pieces because he's allowed another member of his friends to die. And Hinata draws strength, and Hinata tells him, to carry on, and Hinata's the strength he needs to continue fighting. Now, the best representation of their relationship comes in the only Naruto movie that is actually canon.
Which is quite nice. Although Road to Ninja is definitely worth a watch, if not just for the comedy value.
But the last movie is so beautifully done. It's set a couple of years after the Shinobi War is finished. It's set when Naruto is 18 years old and Hinata's 18. And the story is surrounding Hinata's sister has been kidnapped, and they have to go and rescue her. But on the journey, Naruto comes to realize his feelings for Hinata.
Especially when she agrees to marry the antagonist to protect her sister and her friends. And through certain jutsus, Naruto realizes that he has feelings for Hinata, and he remembers the first gift anyone ever gave him, the first act of kindness, was Hinata giving him a red scarf. And, of course, that red scarf. And Lauren's shaking her head now, so...
No, it goes back to when they were children and Hinata was getting picked on because she was from the Hyuga clan, who is known to be one of the most prestigious clans. Naruto, as a young child, protected her, and that's when Hinata's feelings started to develop for him.
And she gave him the gift of a red scarf.
Later in the movie, yes.
Well, yeah, so again, it's the symbolization of red.
In fact, they actually do it in the movie where the two of them are lying next to each other and they're in this dreamlike state, and the scarf that Hinata has knitted for him has become unravelled, and it intertwines between the two of them, becoming their red thread of destiny. Very similar to Minato and Kushina with her hair.
And again, won't spoil too much of the film, but at the end, as we're travelling home, the scarf becomes his connection with her. He realises that his entire life he has noticed this girl. He has seen her grow from a shy girl to a fierce warrior, and he knows that there's no one else for him. All of his memories of being in love with Sakura.
Sasuke?
Yeah, that's a big twist. All of his feelings for Sakura, he realises melted away in a second, and as he's falling with Hinata. And then, as the film ends and the credits roll, we get
one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen.
We skip ahead a few years to Naruto and Hinata with their family, making them, again, confirmed couple in one of the only canon films in the Naruto series.
And of course, if we go to Boruto, well, even at the end of the Naruto anime, one of the last few episodes of the Naruto anime is Naruto and Hinata getting ready for their wedding.
Which is one of the most beautiful things to ever be animated. Just how everyone in the village comes together to celebrate the idiot finally opening his eyes and finally being with the girl who everyone knows he was going to end up with.
And of course they end up with two beautiful children, Boruto and Himawari, although Boruto is a little too much like his father.
But yeah, through everything, through it all, it might have taken a long time and people might not have been a fan of it, but for us, Naruto and Hinata are the cutest couple without a doubt, even if just for the last movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was our list. We hope you enjoyed it. If you agree, give us a like. If not, leave a comment and discuss it with us.
Yeah, tell us who your favourite couples are, if there's any we missed. If there's any you think we should check out. Give us anime recommendations. We are going to be starting a series on this channel where we review anime. The very first one we're going to review is one of the first animes we bonded over.
Would that be Hellsing Ultimate?
Of course it would be, darling.
And of course it would be. So yeah, like Lauren said, if you leave any recommendations, we'll try our hardest to watch them and give them a review. So thanks very much for watching.
Until next time, sayonara.
Sayonara.